Big Z Reviews. Jupiter's Legacy is a new Netflix series that is meant to be their claim on the big epic superhero scene, but the first season or the first volume really falls flat on its face.
The man I knew was never at home when I was a kid. Too busy saving the world.
Brandon, Chloe, everything you do is a reflection on this family. You have to be the ideal.
So the creator of the show was Stephen S. DeKnight, and a lot of the director and a lot of stuff is from the creator of the comic, Mark Millar. And it's just the way that they framed this, the way that they did this season it's broken. I mean, I love superhero stuff, and I should have loved this, but the way they did it is so odd. Like, I mean, they're trying to do something like spanning ages, but they only focus on two in this season. They start at the very beginning, before they have powers, right after the stock market crashes in like the 1930s, the 20s, or whatever. And then they have like modern day, and this is like mostly the kids and things starting to fall apart or things going bad, and like they're so different, and they keep going, like the way they keep going back and forth, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, the reason you have like flashbacks or backstories for something is like you tell in the story, like you try to have parallels to the modern story, and there aren't any. And there's no framework for it. Like, there's no one like remembering what happened or how they got the powers or like the start of it. There's like none of it, and it kind of baffles me because like, they don't introduce anyone. Like, I have nothing to grab a hold of. Like, I mean, like everyone sucks in this show. But like they don't like, you don't introduce to anyone. Like, you see like one scene of the superheroes, the Utopian, and like their kids like playing, and when they show the superpowers, and then you jump to them as adults, and then you jump to the other people as adults before they get their superpowers, and it's boring for a lot of it. And some of the action scenes are okay, they're not bad, but something is so wrong with the storytelling in this show. So the main star is probably Josh Duhamel as Sheldon Sampson as the Utopian, and kind of like secondary is his wife Leslie Bibb as Grace Kennedy Sampson as Lady Liberty, and like there's the kids and stuff. But like Andrew Horton as Brandon, and Elena Campori as Chloe Sampson. And it's just like you don't get to, like, you would think if you're telling a story with kids of the superhero, the like entry character for the viewer would be like the two kids. But there is no entry character. There's like no world building. Like, you just throw you right in. And it's like it's mind-boggling that they tried to make this series like this. Like, I mean, like the introduction of the characters, I mean, you would think would be, I mean, they spent a lot of time in the past, and that stuff is so slow. Like, I mean, the actual modern stuff, there's some cool stuff there. Like, there's some cool, that's where all the action scenes are and all the modern things. That's where, like, there are villains and there's intrigue. But the backstory they're telling is, I'd say, like 60% at least of the show. And it is so boring and long-winded. And, like, the whole thing is just Josh Duhamel going crazy after his dad throws himself out the building. And it's, like, so random. Like some aliens from Jupiter or Jupiter's moon thinks that, hey, this guy just watched his dad die. Let's send him hit coded messages to see if he can figure out how to become a superhero. And it's like they spend so much time with him just being crazy and go traveling around America in the 1930s, and it's just boring as all hell. And then they finally get to it. It's like King Kong. There's like this Skull Island where there's this area in the ocean where you have to go, and there's like a special island, and if you pass the trials, you'll get the superpowers. And that's like the big finale of the first season. Like for the past part is that they get their powers, but like the weirdest thing, they get their powers and then bam, like they spend so much time on them getting to that point, and then it jump cuts to them with their suits, and with them they're already setting up the octagon table, and like they're like starting their big superhero stuff and how they're going to change the world, to change America. And it's like, but how do you get there? How do you come up with all your names? Where are you experimenting with your power? They're trying to figure out what you do. But they spent so much time on the lead up, and then they just skip all the interesting stuff. Like the interesting stuff would be the origin story of them like experimenting with their powers, or like them figuring out like how they're going to do with the responsibilities of the powers. But it doesn't talk about it at all. And especially because that's what's so important in like the modern day times. Like the big thing is that there's like the union that they're in like there's this code for them. And like but like the thing is like the people that you see in the back time are missing. So like some people, they're villains, or maybe dead or gone. And some of the age makeup is so bad. Like it's almost unwatchable. Like it takes you, it's complete immersion breaking when, especially Ben Daniels as Brainwave, which is Walter Sampson, is like the brother of the Utopian, and his makeup and the fake beard looks so bad. Josh Duhamel, the fake beard and the wig looks so bad, and like the old age makeup for every single person. Why? If you can't do it right, just don't do it. I mean, there's like a thing that they're like almost 100 years old, or maybe more than 100 years old. So like the superpowers they got, made them much longer lived. So just don't age them up. If you can't make it look good, just don't do it, or just dye their hair gray, and say that's all. I don't know why they had to try to make them look older, and it looks so bad. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. And the main story for the modern time is essentially that the whole mantra of the Union is that you don't kill. You don't kill any of the villains, no matter what. And like it's kind of broken when the son, the Paragon, he kills this clone of Darkstar, which we have no idea who he is. We have no idea the backstory or what this thing is. And it's just like, but he's super powerful. And the funny thing is, he kills him in the midst of battle. Like he crushes his brain. And it's just like, but there's a whole season of episodes of them like criticizing, oh, we don't kill, why'd you kill him? It's like, dude, he was literally about to nuke like the whole state. And like, so killing him, he shouldn't have killed him because it's to save millions of people, including his parents. And it's just so stupid. But then there's like this whole thing where now, like the villains, like all these superheroes being killed, and am I supposed to care about them? I don't know if I ever met this person. And the other main storyline is with Chloe Sampson. She's like the daughter that doesn't want to be a hero, and she's like being a model and being like a drug addict and being like, a bitch and being like horrible person. Like, but like that, I didn't really like the actress. Like, she's supposed to be a model, but they have a really weird haircut, and she just looks really goofy. And like they never even really say what her powers are. Like, and as a kid, that she screamed. I guess she's just like super strong and she can fly or some shit. But like then there's the other guy, another kid from one of the other people, is like trying to do stuff. He's like the bad guy, like stealing things, and he gets together with Chloe and their shenanigans. But just there's just not much here. Like, I mean, there's like so much advertising and so much build up to this, and like, I mean, they're really this. I feel like they think this is their big thing, and it's bad. Like, it's surprisingly bad. And I mean, I guess they could save it, but I just like, I don't know what they could. I mean, so much of the old stuff is just stupid. Like, I mean, I almost wish they would have done, and it felt weird too, because they going back and forth just felt odd. I almost wish they would have done instead. They could have done like movies. You could have done like Netflix movies, kind of in this world, because you could easily cut down the the past stuff. You could cut that down, cut down a lot of the bullshit in it, and make it a 2 hour movie. And you could also do the modern day things like a 2 hour movie. And I think it would have been better. Although again, I wish like the way they jumped from the very beginning to the very end is just, there's so much in there that it's just missing, and it just feels weird. I mean, maybe they are planning on telling all the stories, but like to do it like this is just without any framework, is just bad storytelling. And I mean, I honestly wouldn't recommend it, especially when you have a show like Invincible, which is, yes, it's a cartoon, but it does this kind of deconstruction, or this like different version of superheroes so well. And then like it almost feels like Jupiter's Legacy is trying to do a similar thing, but so poorly. Like, it's disappointing. I'd probably give like a 4 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see any more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.